And this one is of the zombie looking angry. And then it zooms in and makes like a Western homage of it. And then it goes into on this boy's shocked eyes because he's shocked that he's a zombie. Yeah. And then it moves over to a forward tracking of the zombie as he comes towards the person. Then it turns to an eyeline match of the zombie, of the boy in a corner, and then the camera comes in to him on a zoom, like a tracking thing to make it look like the zombie's approaching him. And then cut back to the zombie coming towards, and he just about to throw his arms, and then he wrestles with about to throw his arms, and then he wrestles with the zombie a little bit in this one, and then they fall. And they just see about to fall, and then they fall in this one. And that's a close-up of their faces after they fall and they're fighting each other. They're angry. They're both angry at each other because one's a zombie. And then after a struggle, the man pushes the zombie off of him. So then he runs out of the room with a shaky camera behind him, just to see. And it swaps between that one of a shaky camera behind him and the camera mounted on his chest, and then him going down the stairs. And then you see it cuts behind him, and you see the boy's mum in the background, and then she looks shocked as well. And there's also then we go on to an eyeline match when the boy's at the bottom of the stairs, of the zombie at the top of the stairs, and how he's approaching. Then it goes over, cuts back to the boy, and there's an over-the-shoulder shot of him shaking her, telling her to go. But then she looks too mortified that she just looks at the zombie, and it cuts back to the zombie's getting closer. And then this one. Then it goes, then the zombie jumps onto the mum, and the boy just jumps out the way very quickly, and he starts to eat his mum. Then the boy has to make a decision between saving the boy's mum, the zombie's mum, or just leaving, get to his safety. So it looks to his mum getting eaten, and then or the door. So then he makes a decision, and he goes to the door. And then as he passes, the zombie looks up and then tries to chase him. And there's another shaky camera shot of him running towards the French doors in the next room. So then we cut to the outside of the door, outside of the French door, a reverse angle. And you see him trying to open the door, but it won't open. So then it cuts round. You see the boy turn around, and then on the other side of the room is the zombie, and he's coming closer. And then he flicks his hand up to hit a switch, which goes from normal to creepy, and then the light starts flashing. So then the zombie gets closer with the light flashing, and the boy looks really scared, and it's mounted on his chest, and he keeps on spinning around just to see what it is. And then we cut to outside, where there's a doorbell ringing, and then we zoom out to see that there is 2 police officers at the door. And then we cut back to the man in the room, looking scared, looking for the key. The zombie's getting closer, and it's still flashing. Yeah, and then he looks for the key, and he finds the key, and he looks to get the key, and then he picks the key up, and then you see from the reverse angle that he unlocks the door and runs out. And then we cut back to the police officers, and he's just booted the door in, and they come to save them. So then there's the man running away from the zombie outside, and then the police officers come in behind them, and then the next thing, which is the next shot, is one of the police officers rugby tackles the zombie to the floor. Then the zombie starts to look human by panicking a little bit, and then you start to see the boy's reaction of the zombie looking human, and then he starts to get a thing, and then he's on the floor. You see him shaking his hands, saying no, 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 And then the police officer's foot comes onto his chest, and then there's an eyeline match of that zombie with a gun pointing in his face. So then we take a long shot of him, the zombie getting shot in the head, and then it pans to reveal that he was on the TV show Punk'd, and it's all been a setup. And then the final shot is of the boy, a zoom in, body out of this boy's face. That's all. I hope you've had fun with us, because I've had fun. Thank you very much.
Thank you.